What are we doing? Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. This is an impromptu video. We have somebody here with us. This is Amanda from Amanda Center. I have linked her channel many a time, and I will link it down below and up in the cards. And you guys will be able to find her channel. So, Amanda is here from outer space.
That's where I live.
Yep.
Yep. It's on an undiscoverable planet. I can't even pronounce it in the English language. Only true cyborgs can really say the name, so.
True cyborgs.
True cyborgs.
So today we're doing a unscripted, chatty video about buddy reads.
Because we do a lot of them.
We do quite a few of them, and we constantly are linking each other's channels back and forth. So I just wanted to talk to you guys, we just wanted to talk to you guys about ways to do buddy reads, what we enjoy out of buddy reads, and why we buddy read together so frequently. Because we do have a tendency to buddy read together because we enjoy it. And it works well for us. So, Amanda, what would you say your first, like, key things are that you look for in a buddy read?
That would be, like, communication, obviously. But I can't tell you, Keisha and I have had at least a handful of buddy read experiences individually with other people where actually talking about the books didn't happen too much. So keeping in touch with your buddy throughout the reading experiences is probably like my prime thing.
Yeah.
That I'm looking for.
And trying to look outside of discussing just a plot.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely books that are shallow enough that you just can discuss the plot and that's really all you've got.
Yeah. But I think that especially if you're not keeping up, like if you're not like reading and stopping at the specific time every day, talking about just the plot becomes really complicated because someone's ahead and someone's behind. So the person who's ahead can't speak all of their thoughts in the moment. So if you can talk more about like themes or character development or imagery or I don't know what else.
Yeah.
You know, if you're off pace with each other, it doesn't interfere as much. Right.
And I think the other thing is it does help to give yourself goals of when you're going to finish certain chapters by. I find that I definitely have a couple people that I buddy read with who we just kind of go along and check in occasionally. And I have one person that I read that way with, and it works really well. But that person has such in-depth thoughts and insightful ideas that they never leave me feeling like I'm missing something. But I've had people who, when we don't like sit an allotted like amount of book time, they just don't read as much as I do. And then I'm stuck being like almost 100 and some odd pages ahead and wondering what to do because I can't discuss any of my thoughts. And that just becomes a problem.
And if for some reason they're not forthcoming with their own ideas, you're just up a creek because you don't know what you can and can't talk about at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that overall I like daily or weekly check-ins because I think that most of the time if you have to fall back on talking about plot, it just makes it easier. And I find that it does take like a special sort of buddy who's on a similar level as you to do just like an unscripted, we'll just read the thing at our own paces.
Yep.
I think that's, especially for like your first buddy read, setting up a more tight schedule and keeping pace and like reading with them at the same pace can probably be very helpful for your first couple buddy reads.
And Amanda and I have read and are going to be, we're going to show you some books we're going to be buddy reading together soon. We've read books where either I or she has read them before. And so it's a reread for one of us. And so that person is already aware of everything that's coming and is just kind of potentially powering ahead because it's just so easy to reread. But we're both aware of it. And so the person who isn't rereading it knows that wherever they are, it's okay because they can talk about anything and they're not going to spoil anything. So they can just discuss however they want and it works out just fine.
And I think for I don't know of any buddy read where someone being a rereader and someone being a first-time reader isn't a really cool experience. Because especially once you get through any like spoilery plot points, talking about like, oh, I reacted this way upon this read, and I saw these things that maybe you didn't see upon the first read. I think that that's something that I don't hear a lot of people doing, where one person's rereading and one person's reading for the first time, but I've never had that spoil a buddy read experience. It's always been really enriching.
I think that the one that really comes to mind for me was when I reread Fingersmith and we read it together.
Oh yeah, that must have been hard for you.
It was really difficult because Amanda's going, I think this is going to happen, and I'm going, I can't tell you anything. And
I'm one of those awful people where it's like, I just need to tell you this in case I'm right, because I need to prove that I'm right.
Yep.
And the person I'm talking to is in a really soft, like, hard spot. Yep. I do that all the time. That's my bad.
Yeah. Yeah. She really likes to make predictions, which is totally fine by me, because a lot of the times if it's a reread, I already know what's coming. And then also I'm really bad at making predictions. Like, I am terrible at making predictions for any book, which is one of the reasons that thrillers usually work for me.
Yeah, because you're always surprised.
I'm always surprised. I always get very surprised. And so reading a book with Amanda makes me kind of challenge myself to be like, what might happen? And that's a lot of fun for me too, to kind of think outside the box and like predict something, and then have that fun moment of, ooh, I was right, or have that moment of like, never mind.
Yeah, that's not how I would have written it.
That's not what I thought was gonna happen. You fail.
In the version where I wrote this book, that's not what happened.
Oh my goodness, the amount of books that I would rewrite with different spoilers, it would be ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
That's another video.
That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video. But then I would spoil all these books and be like, if I was rewriting this, I would write it this way. And then everyone would be like, it's not that way? And I'd be like, awkward.
Let's talk about the ways to buddy read.
Okay.
Because there are different like apps or just like ways to communicate with your buddy. And I've done like at least like the 4 basic kinds of like buddy read communication.
Yep.
Which I think one of them's just purely text based, so like email or messenger.
Yep.
Then you've got purely voice based, so like Voxer messages or theoretical telephone calls,
Voxer is my preferred.
Voxer's my preferred too. I've also done Skype sessions to talk about books with people, and then face-to-face buddy reads is like the classic buddy read scenario.
Face-to-face is like ideal, but when you live in different parts of the universe, it's really hard.
Yeah. Like, the reception from Mars and my home planet is just not great.
It's really rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough. But I prefer Voxer myself, because I prefer to record myself thinking. It does, I'm going to be honest, I get super tongue-tied depending on who I'm talking to. For example, when I talk to Mercedes, I get super like starstruck and get like really tongue-tied and ridiculous. And then I babble and sound like a crazy person. But when I do it with Amanda, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I just completely made a fool of myself. But I still do it, and I still babble and make a fool of myself. But I definitely appreciate having that kind of raw thought process come out, so that you can kind of come to realizations while you're talking.
Yeah. I also think that voice messages, number one, add your personality into the communication a lot more than just text messages, whether it's email or whatever. And I find that I personally am kind of lazy when it comes to typing things out, because I'm doing a lot on my iPod Touch these days, and it is a pain to write like a full-length anything. So I find that I just like will give like the bullet point version of my thoughts, which is not an enriching conversation with the person I'm having. So while I too blabble and go off tangents on Voxer messages, I feel like if you're going to buddy read with me, you're going to know that's going to happen. Yeah. Because I'm a bit of a weirdo. So, and I think that if that's not happening, then you're getting like a really weird, like stilted, scripted version of me, which is not as fun.
No, it's really not. And I think that the text messages that I'll send to Amanda or others that I'm buddy reading with are like, did you get to this part? Message me when you do. More so than my thoughts. So like, it's more of like a quick, oh my God, I need, like, talk about this now, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut kind of moment versus anything else. And I think also it's a good way to, like, send a text that's like, I'm on page 95, message me when you get here and we'll talk. So that you're not just, like, holding down the Voxer message and being like, I'm on page 95, talk to you soon.
Yeah, 2-second message.
Yeah.
You're just like, why
Why would you do that?
Was this an accident? Was this a butt dialing incident? Yeah, and you know, in some ways, I almost prefer Voxer to in-person chats because, and this is going to sound such a nerd thing, but, like, in-person chats can so easily get derailed into just, like, friend chats, and it's like, we're here to talk about the book. Gosh darn it, we need to stay on topic. And I feel like with Voxer, it's more just, like, structured because you've got, like, the 15-minute message time limit, and you're not constrained with, like, speaking all of your thoughts right now. You can, like, take a break, and they won't judge you because they don't know if you're there or not.
Right.
So it's a lot more, like, social anxiety pressure off with Voxer, I think.
Well, and it's harder to get off topic on Voxer because you don't have that, like, moment where you can interrupt somebody. There is times where, like, if Amanda's like, did you think she was going to run this way? And you can type yes while she's talking and she can read it while she's talking, but those one-word answers are not going to interrupt the flow of thought, and they're not going to change the subject.
Yeah, and they're also, unless, like, you're having a back and forth Voxer conversation, which I think happens maybe, like, a quarter of the time that you and I talk on Voxer, there's, like, no awkward silence because no one's actively listening to you. So you're just kind of leaving a voice message for them in the future to get to at their leisure, and you don't have to worry about, like, you know, being on the spot with anything for the most part.
Yeah.
Which it helps me a lot.
And also you can take the book and be like, okay, now I'm going to sit here and pinpoint what I need to mention.
Or, like, instead of just, like, having to, like, awkwardly one-handed thumb through, because I wish you could just push the button and Voxer would just...
Why can't you just push the button and let it just record?
Because it's a fake walkie-talkie.
It's not a fake walkie-talkie.
But, so you could be like, hang on, I'm going to look up the books, the thing, and then you do it, and then for them, they haven't lost any time. It's just, like, in the next second, you're back with, like, the quote that you needed.
Yeah.
So it's a lot less awkward that way.
Yeah, instead of just sitting there watching something quietly happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Voxer is not the only, like, walkie-talkie voice app thing.
I think WhatsApp has an option too.
Yeah, but Voxer's the one I use.
Yeah, Voxer's the one I use too.
Not sponsored.
No. Not even a little.
Not even a little bit.
No, they don't even know who I am.
Yeah, that's my preferred.
Yep. I'll do email.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do email, but you have to be ready for, like, a long email because, you know, there's really no other way to get your thoughts across. Like, you have to be ready to do, like, a long email.
Yeah. I feel like email messaging is better if it's like, okay, let's get in touch when we're halfway through. Let's get in touch at the end. When you just do a couple check-ins.
Yeah.
Whereas Voxer's better for, like, daily or weekly check-ins with your buddy.
I prefer daily, just because I'm someone who reads a book on the go constantly. I very rarely will take more than a week to finish a book. But that's just a personal preference of my own. I recently had a buddy read where it took a little over a week to finish the book, and I read to page like 200, and then I waited for them to catch up, so I wasn't reading it, but I had a bunch of other books going at the time, so that was completely fine. I would definitely recommend, if you're somebody who reads on a faster level like I do, having another book on the go, just so that you have another option to read while you're waiting for the other person, because life happens. And you can't expect that they're going to be able to catch up every single day, because...
I mean, I do.
I know you do.
But I'm a bit of a tyrant. Like, we made a social contract. I mean, I'd never say that, but...
Yes, like, you would to me.
But you're always waiting for me, though, so this is a completely theoretical situation. But yeah, like, I don't know, how many people only read one book at a time? That's amazing.
I don't know who reads one book at a time.
I don't think I've ever done that.
If you do, you know, go you, because
Yeah, like no judging.
No.
I just have
I don't know
a
how
short
to do
attention
it.
span. I want to switch between worlds and stuff.
Yeah, Amanda has now seen what my pile of currently reading looks like.
But that's just your reread pile,
Yeah,
right?
that's my reread
That's
pile.
not even your, like, first time read pile.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a pile of currently reading rereads that are sitting next to my bed that are just like, hey, I'm in the middle of reading this book, but I feel like maybe I want this. And I know exactly what this book is, so I'm going to pick that up. It's pretty crazy.
So you really have no excuse for speeding ahead.
No. I really don't.
It's lack of self-control. That's
It's
okay.
complete lack of self-control.
When the book is good, you just can't not.
Yeah.
I'm with
Sing
ya.
Unburied Sing was hard for me to keep. It was really hard for me
Thank
to
you.
keep going.
The struggle was real. I
The
appreciate
struggle was
it.
so real. There was so much vomit. I had to find out what was happening.
Or just wait until the vomit stopped.
You just want to get past the vomit.
Oh, we're doing it again? Okay.
So we've got 5 books that we're about to get to as buddy reads. A 6th one is Beloved by Toni Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own that one yet. Do you own that one?
Yeah, but it's in California, so,
Yep.
you know, not useful.
Not helpful in this moment. So we've got a few here which are Marge Piercy, would you say?
Yeah, Marge Piercy.
Woman, there we go. Woman on the Edge of Time, which is a psychology, science fiction, alternate world kind of utopian thing.
Yeah, I think it's like mental hospital plus time and space travel.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I'm good with mental hospital, time, and space travel.
It was a recommendation from Meryl from A Blackbird's Books. That's the only reason why I was like, Acacia, I think we need to read this.
Yeah.
Because Meryl loves it, and she needs to talk about it with people.
Yep.
So we're happy to oblige.
We're happy to pick things up. And then we've got I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Both Amanda and I have been on a kick to, like, find as many Black authors as we possibly can.
You more than me. I've still been, like, solidly trying to incorporate Black authors just into my, like, normal reading habits.
Eventually I'll move on to a different crew to focus on. But
Like a different minority group.
yeah, a different minority group. But right now I'm just loving that writing style so much. And I just feel like there's so much I've missed.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, I have to catch up on everything. Which is why Octavia Butler is every single haul I have.
Speaking of, Miss Acacia is going to be rereading Lilith's Brood.
I didn't feel like I got enough out of it.
I've read Dawn, which is the first part in this trilogy. This is a bind-up. And so I'm going to eventually get my hands on a copy of this, reread Dawn, and then finish the trilogy. And we're going to chat about that sometime later this year. So that should be exciting. Seeing you get so excited about Butler makes me so excited about Butler. We also have another Shirley Jackson to get to. I have this on my shelves already at home.
Do you have the same edition?
Because it's the prettiest
It's
one.
the best edition.
This is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. The Haunting of Hill House we read earlier this year.
We did.
It's my favorite book of the year so far.
It's really good.
It is really good, but also depressing that it's still my only...
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You're
It's not-
having trouble.
It's not been a banner year for me this year. So far. That's
And
okay.
I'm going to be listening to that one on audiobook.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's exciting. And then we have eventually another Shirley Jackson. Bird's Nest is the one I want to pick up after We Have Always Lived in the Castle.
Yes.
Because...
I am
reasons.
obsessed. It's a problem.
No, it's a good thing.
It's dangerous for my sanity. My therapist has warned me.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll read this last.
maybe. Because we might as well, we'll probably find other books that we want to buddy read. At this point, we're basically doing a buddy read every month for the whole year.
We're pretty much just like rolling buddy reads, but
Yep.
that's working out pretty well.
I mean, we did the same thing last year, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we're like deliberately doing it this year, whereas last year it
Yeah.
just kept happening.
Yeah. I think we one of the things that I really do like, and I talk about this I mention Amanda's channel a lot because there's a lot of overlap between Amanda and I. We don't mention the same books constantly, but we have similar taste.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which is really nice because she finds books that I wouldn't normally find and then feels similarly about them as I would have felt should I have read them, if that makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grammar was a little bit
The grammar was a little...
timey-wimey, but I got it.
Yeah.
I was there with you.
See?
Yeah.
We're good. All right, everybody, I think that is our video. We are at 20 minutes, which means I'm going to be cutting and editing the crap out of this. But hopefully you guys stuck with us till the end. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, click that subscribe button down below. And if you have any questions, comments, or quandaries, go ahead and leave them in the comment box. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys!
Bye!